How can you find out when lightning may strike? And how do you count the fish in the sea? How can you tell if a child is growing normally, if baseball is getting better, or traffic is getting worse? How do you know about stock market trends, the risk of cholesterol, the history of witchcraft, or the future of spacecraft? With statistics, that's how. And how can you find out about statistics? With the new Statistics series, Against All Odds.
Good evening, everybody. This is Paul Farbaugh along with IPFW women's coach Tim Heffron. Tim, a nice rendition there, the Star Spangled Banner by public address announcer Eric Agnew. Lewis University in tonight against IPFW Lewis University, a first-year program.
Exactly, Paul. They're looking for an identity in a world of hurry. They've put together a very nice team in a short amount of time. They've funded the program, and Dave Deucer, their coach, has gone out and recruited some very nice players. I expect that program to come alive within 5 years.
Let's go down the floor and see if we can pick up the starting lineups for the Lewis Flyers.
At opposite, a 6'3" freshman from Burlington, Canada, number 9, Anthony Fenton. At middle, a 6'5" sophomore from Orangeville, Canada, number 11, Chris Borden. At middle, a 6'6" freshman from Arlington Heights, Illinois, number 13, Sean Sultan. And at swing, a 6'1" freshman from Downers Grove, Illinois, number 15, Omar Moran. Head coach of the Flyers is Dave Deucer. And now for our IPFW Mastodons. At swing hitter, a 6'4" freshman from Cogos, Puerto Rico, number 5, Ricardo Soler. At swing hitter, a 6'3" sophomore from John Hosson, Minnesota, number 6, Brad Broditis. At middle, a 6'6" junior from Ponce, Puerto Rico, number 7, Felipe Ralat. At middle, a 6'5" junior from Detroit, Michigan, number 12, Craig Spider Collins. At swing hitter, a 6'4" senior from Yoko, Puerto Rico, number 15, Norman Almodovar. And at setter, a 6'9" senior from Woodburn, Indiana, number 10, Loy Ball. Head coach of the Volleyball is Arnie Ball.
We're about set for action right now. Lewis University, this run down their starters again. They have 4 national Canadian players in their lineup. The setter is number 2, Doug McBride, an outside swing hitter. Number 5, Sanisha Dordovic. He's a swing hitter. He's also Canadian. At opposite, Anthony Fenton, another Canadian. He's number 9. Chris Borden is a middle hitter, number 11. Sean Sultan, another middle. He's number 13. And Omar Moran, a swing hitter, number 15 from the outside. For IPFW, similar starting lineup as we've seen at home here in the first 2 games against Pacific and UCLA. Loy Ball is the setter, back to serve. Rounding out, Collins, Almodovar, Broditis, Ralat, and Ricardo Soler. The freshman getting the nod tonight. Loy Ball is set to get this one underway. Lewis at 5-1 against IPFW at 3-2. The MIVA opener for IPFW. Miscommunication there that time. Ball with the free ball. Collins swinging back row, misses long.
Yeah, the IPFW obviously a little tentative on his serve and the hit. They're just trying to feel this out right now, trying to get into a swing of things.
It's been a full week since IPFW has played. Played up at Penn State in an invitational up there, went 2-1, lost in 3 straight to Penn State in the finals of that invitational. Chris Borden over the middle with a kill. First kill of the night.
Chris Borden back to serve.
Ball cannot save it, and team IPFW coming down a little flat right now.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you got your feet moving here, and Ricky's having trouble again right off the bat, not moving his feet to get to the ball.
Borden at serve at 1-0. Amaldavar takes his pass. Proditis.
Nice combination by IPFW as Felipe took up the middle blocker, and Brad comes around for the X2 and takes care of it.
Relat on serve at 0-1. Ticks the net service error for IPFW. And back to serve Anthony Fenton, number 9.
Well, IPFW just looks really cold right now. They look like they're not warmed up.
Bad pass by Almodovar. Coming back to him. Swinging down the line, does catch it. Brad Proditis back to serve. Shank that time, Omar Moran.
Well, they just may have found a pigeon. We may have found our pigeon to serve. We'll find out how solid this guy is.
Well, they tried to serve to him again. They moved away from him. Almodovar with the roof, although it was a soft one.
And that's the kind of the run a brand new team will be very susceptible to. They just don't have that continuity to be able to mentally hang in there like that. And IPFW is going to find that they're going to get runs like this against a brand new team.
Omar Moran is going to suffer a little bit in this string. They're going right at him. Brad Proditis looking to serve to him every time.
Definitely. And I think Lewis may side out here and there and look like they're in it, but then all of a sudden, for some strange reason, completely fall apart for about 5 points.
Sean Salton there with a kill to stop a 3-point run. It's 1-3 now. And the second service error for Lewis in this first game.
Yeah, Omar's having trouble getting in the game for Lewis, that's for sure.
And just missing long, Almodovar.
Sean Salton to serve.
Ball back set Relat from back row.
Nice play by IPFW. I think they're gonna find out what's gonna work against Lewis. They're gonna test the waters in the middle and the right side and the left side. See where their blockers tend to congregate and go away from that.
Sanisha Dordovic with his first kill of the evening. As you mentioned earlier, Lewis is a new entry this year in the MIVA conference. There are now 6 teams. Quincy has also joined the conference. That time Soler did not get up on the ball quickly enough.
It was a great play. He had to one-on-one and just was a little late and didn't get the ball over. It's just a really good play. It's just not well executed, that's all.
Service error, but just to finish that point, Tim, this year there are now 6 teams in the MIVA conference, so the winner of the conference tournament automatically will get a bid this year to the Final Four. That has not been the case. IPFW has been given a bid, not an automatic bid.
That's correct, and as the Midwest expands, you're going to see more opportunities for young folks to get into the game here in the Midwest.
4-2 the count. Ball with the jump serve. Quick hitter, ball cannot save. Credit the kill, Chris Borden, his second of the evening.
Dordovic back to serve.
Sanisha Dordovic, one of the 4 Canadians playing for Lewis University out of Romeo, Illinois. Collins, almost a swinging error.
Anthony Fenton was just not ready to play ball there. The ball comes off the block and goes right next to him, and he's just out to lunch at that point.
Working on Moran as a pass. Fenton with a kill attempt. Proditis now setting Almodovar.
Nice hit. And that's the kind of thing that your stud player can do when the ball's set on the 10-foot line and he's front row. He can't get an approach and he just jumps and hits it over the block and down for a kill. That's a stud player.
Another service error. So Soler with the service error this time. And Lewis now. Chris Borden on serve at 2-5. Good pass. Roulette stuffs it down. The penetration at the net a little loose.
Yeah, he had a Drano there on him. He didn't get next to the net. He's about 2 feet away from the net, and the ball's going to fall right on your side every time. Obviously, Moran having trouble at this point. Doesn't look like a solid blocker, neither a solid passer. I'm sure he's a better player than this, but he's not into the swing of it yet.
Boy, serving the seam Roulette twice in a row. Coming back, two-man stuff block. Proditis can't turn it inside.
Just a bit outside, unfortunately. It was a very good block, though. They locked up on it. Sometimes that just happens.
Tim, one thing I've noticed is this team is swinging. They're not hitting any off-speed kills or trying to wipe off the shot of the blocker. Normally you find that with a team that is slower-paced offense, a smaller team as well. They're going straight at IPFW. Is that a good strategy? Is that going to serve them well for this match, or is that something that they just are going to build on as the year progresses?
Well, I think they're probably a little tentative for the simple fact that they've heard a lot about IPFW. They may have seen them on tape once or twice, but they really don't know what IPFW is capable of. And so they're kind of going into this blindly, and they're going to find out what they can and can't do.
Dave Duscher takes a timeout. It's 7-2 IPFW at this point in the first game, best of 5. The College Cable Access Program Guide provides information about our programming, including IPFW Sports Telecast. To receive your free Channel 6 program guide, send your name, address, and zip code to Channel 6 there at your screen on IPFW. 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana. The zip is 05, or you can give us a call at 481-6000. And Lewis University has come in here as a club before, so they've played IPFW, but it's never been for a match, and it's never been involved as a varsity type sport.
Exactly, and early in rivalries such as this, maybe the first match might set the tone for the future as far as the rivalry goes. If Lewis gets smoked and gets disheartened in the first few meetings with IPFW, they may have trouble getting out of that, and it may take some years to do. However, if they feel like they play hard and trouble IPFW right off the bat, they will be competitive immediately.
Front row attack that time by Ball. Loy sporting a new do. Don't know if you want to give that one a nickname. Not the pineapple.
Well, I'm not sure what we're going to call that quite yet.
Jump service by Almodovar. Swinging, it's wide. Roulette pulled back, as did Ball at the top of the net. It's Anisha Dordovic.
The one thing you notice about the Lewis outside hitters is they're rather short, and I think that's one reason why IPFW is attacking them on that side of the net as far as hitting-wise. They're going to be going after them and seeing how good of blockers they are.
Dordovic is only 6 feet tall. And Moran, the other outside hitter, is just 6'1".
And it looks like they're going to be able to exploit that play all day long.
Craig Collins on serve at 8-2. Tough floater serve. And there's the pineapple. Coffin corner.
Definitely had it wide open. Again, Lewis, they've not seen this kind of height in a setter. Not really sure what to do with it.
Another tough serve by Collins. Back set. Ball almost had a lift, and then double hit by Proditis.
Yeah, he had a spinner there going. He had the whirly bird happening for him. He couldn't set up right. Didn't face his target, and he sent her whirling.
Ball now, setting Proditis back row, and blocked out of bounds, side out IPFW. Might see some new combinations for IPFW in games 2 and 3 if they're fortunate enough to win game 1 here. Some players that got some playing time up at Penn State, and some players that impressed this week in practice, Tim.
I think so. Scott Davenport has done a really nice job in practice. Unfortunately, he's had tendonitis in his knee and has not been able to play and really go hard in practice until just recently, and just really showed a lot last night. Also, Mike is getting a chance in the middle a little bit. He's kind of weak with his strength yet. That's going to have to come as the year goes. But he's got a lot of potential. Nice block, nice defensive player, decent serve. Just has to get a little more strength for hitting.
Now the set swinging outside. Two-man block, Roland. Almodovar split it up half and half. Fenton nowhere to go that time. That Mike you were referring to is Tremolin, is that?
That's correct. Mike
he got some
Tremolin,
time
yeah.
against. I believe he got some time up at Penn State. I don't know if he played in the Penn State match.
He got a couple games in, and I don't think they were in Penn State, but one game in George Mason and game versus
Rutgers Newark.
Yep, that's it. Rutgers Newark played well in both, I hear.
Keith Kujawa in now, number 4, back row specialist. Soler could not pull back in time. Side out Lewis. 10-3 IPFW on top. Both teams still trying to get a rhythm going here offensively. Lewis a much slower pace offense.
Definitely.
Oh, combination play. Haven't seen that one much this year. Almodovar front row. 2 jumpers up before Almodovar comes from the outside. And Moran still having problems with the pass. Dink is good. Collins cannot hang long enough.
Just couldn't hang in the air there and rolled off his fingertips.
In that case, should Collins pull his fingers back and try and play it underneath?
Well, you usually want your blockers to be very aggressive up there, and it's not exactly a bad play. As you see Norman having the same trouble Ricky had on that 4 ball there. Not getting there in time. It's not a bad set, and you're getting the one-on-one. They just got to get there a step sooner.
Good set, and talk with Coach Arnie Ball. His players on the quick attack, especially in an attack like that, they have to be in the air. Or that particular set, they have to be watching Ball to know where the set is going to be. They cannot take their eyes off him. But he's worried about his team not getting up quick enough for the quick attack, the quick hitter over the middle.
We've really been working on blocking this week in practice, and the technical parts of the block, and it's starting to pay off. Although it doesn't happen like instantly. It takes a long time to be able to assimilate that into an actual game.
Almodovar's second service error at 11-4. Well, IPFW has continued by the service woes. They had 19 service errors and only 3 aces versus Penn State, and Penn State 1-3. From the outside, Ball got a piece of that. Turning back, Anthony Fenton.
And Chris Borden didn't exactly make the best play of his career there, hitting the ball right back into the net after it's coming out of the net. You want to pull the ball off the net, not hit it back into the net, and your arms have to swing in that direction.
This team has some work to do on the fundamentals, illustrated there by McBride. Passing to the up official. Going to take a timeout here, Dave Duscher is. For Lewis, it's 12-4 IPFW in the first.
Yeah, this has been a bit of a cakewalk here for IPFW. They really haven't been pushed or tested, unfortunately. Hopefully Lewis can pick it up.
Well, tune in to Channel 6 tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. You get to watch the Eagles from Ashland University play the IPFW Lady Dons. Then at 8 o'clock, the men go at it, Ashland University, and the IPFW Mastodons. Get you all the action of IPFW basketball right here on Channel 6. And the women struggling a bit. They have lost 3 straight games in the Great Lakes Valley Conference. See if they can get it back together at Ashland. Ashland is tough, and they've taken some teams that beat IPFW to overtime, particularly Indianapolis last week. So that should be a good contest. 6 and 8 the times on those games tomorrow night. Well, it's a quiet crowd out here tonight. Probably about numbering anywhere between 600 and 700 people in the stands at the Hillier Gate Sports Center. McBride with a dump over.
Unfortunately, Spider just didn't get to his base defensive position before the setter got the ball. He's still moving when the setter throws the ball. There's no way he can make the play. He'll hear about that one in the timeout.
And that's tough for him, too, because he's got to come up from the service position, but still he has to get there.
He still has to run up there, hustle up there, and he should be able to do it because he's serving a floater, which takes a lot more time than a jump serve.
And here is the jump serve at 12-4 is long. Dordovic on serve now. Spreaditis swinging against two and turned aside.
He didn't have much choice there. Everybody knew where the ball was going, and it was kind of tight. Blocks right on him. He's got to use hands at that point.
And Spreaditis, 2 in a row. It's 6-12, Lewis, and that does
just barely out.
Just miss. Yes.
Ooh, that looked like it might have caught the line there. Colin Leiter thinking about it, but gives IPFW the benefit of the doubt.
Bride on the set. Collins with the up, still alive. Ball cannot save it. Fenton with a kill, Anthony Fenton. And this Lewis team, they really only play 6 players, the 6 you see out on the floor right now. Almodovar swinging.
That ball hit him on the thigh, and for some reason he's calling a replay. That should be a point for IPFW.
And the up official indicating indeed it did hit him on the thigh. I don't know the ruling on that either.
Well, it should be IPFW point at this point because it hit him below the waist.
Well, bring it up anyway. Almodovar swinging from the outside. He has really been consistent from that position. They're looking to get a little more from Brad Spreaditis.
Certainly are. Brad needs to get into the flow of the team here. He needs to just play the game and not think so much.
Sean Sultan, number 13 there with a kill. Back on serve is Fenton. Tough service. Soler popping it up. Back row attack. A lot trying to hang in the air and adjust to the set that time. IPFW is not sharp. There's a line drive. Soler trying to save it.
It was a nice save by Loy, and the referee's saying that the blocker touched the ball on IPFW's side of the net when Loy had it, and consequently that's a violation.
Side out, Spreaditis on serve, going right back at Omar Moran. Here he is one-on-one. Soler gets a piece of it, 2 to get it over. Free ball now for Lewis. This is McBride. That ball's still alive. It hits the overhang.
IPFW not sharp at all. I'm not sure Arnie's real happy with the crew at this point. They're really lackadaisical. I think they feel like they don't have to play hard just to win, and obviously it's showing.
That was a point for Fort Wayne. Didn't quite catch the ruling on that one. We'll get that ironed out for you. Fake X, and no one went for that one, especially Norman Almodovar. One-on-one block. And this is for game 1. Spreaditis on serve at 14-7. Ran up to McBride. Quick hitter and put down. Sean Sultan.
Arnie's not happy with Spider's blocking at that point. Felt he should have had it. Mike's going to get a chance to test the waters here. I would suspect he's going to see some playing time here tonight.
Mike Timmerlin. And they go right at him. He's up and early.
You can see the potential of the guy. I mean, he's 6'7". He gets up in the air. He swings high. It's just a matter of gaining strength.
He's just a freshman. Another freshman. Closing it out. Ricardo Soler. 15-7 IPFW in an uninspired first game.
Definitely, Lewis is kind of looking around at the lights here, maybe the crowd, maybe they haven't seen such a thing before. They're a little bit, it looks to me like they're a little bit in awe at this point. They're not believing that they can compete.
We're going to step aside right here. We'll be back with game 2 right after these messages.
Pick up your entry form from the front door. Turn it into a paper envelope. We will put a pool out in the center of the court.
Jobs. It's top priority with many Hoosiers today. Good jobs with good futures. That's what Ivy Tech in Fort Wayne specializes in, training good people for good jobs. The skilled jobs Indiana's future needs.
Ivy Tech, what Indiana needs to grow. Call for enrollment information.
Team spirit is alive and well at IPFW. That's because IPFW has established itself as an athletic power, not only regionally, but nationally. With 11 major sports, IPFW offers talented student athletes great opportunities. Success and support of IPFW athletics comes solely from the fans, students, faculty, alumni, and the prestigious Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons Athletic Club has over 500 members who financially support IPFW athletics, enabling the university to provide scholarships to deserving athletes. Members will receive one or all of the following: season passes to all sporting events, special seating, hospitality room, plus Royal Dons apparel and gifts. In May of '94, IPFW will host the men's collegiate Final Four volleyball championships. Royal Dons will be first in line to purchase preferred seating. Be a part of the winning tradition. Join the Royal Dons Club. We need your support. Call IPFW Athletics. Get into the team spirit.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. I'm Paul Farbaugh, along with IPFW women's coach Tim Heffron. Tim, we might see a little shake-up here after IPFW won the first game, 15-7. Might see some new players second and third game. Mike Termerlin continues to stay in the lineup, number 14. He is a freshman, replacing Craig Collins.
I believe if IPFW jumps out to a lead like they should, we're going to see some more subs. In the third game, you'll probably see, you could see 6 new players, in fact.
For Lewis University, they go with the same starting 6. These 6 players get the majority of playing time. Lewis comes in here at 5-1. They have already beaten Quincy University and Wisconsin Milwaukee. Those are 2 teams now in the revised MIVA conference, of which IPFW is a part of. High outside set. Soler still getting only one blocker. Puts it away.
A nice swing by the freshman. We've really been working on getting his feet to the ball before he jumps, and he's done a nice job this week with that.
It's his ball on serve. Tough serve.
Guy's way under the net. Dan missed that one. Unfortunately, the pole's right in his way there.
Dordovic under the net.
It's a dangerous play because it's easy to twist an ankle when you land on somebody else's foot getting that close.
Dangerous for the team on the other side, exactly. Moran handles, McBride setting. Anthony Fenton Hey, someone playing with the channel down there.
Nice swing, nice swing. Comes around for the C ball and swings it back cross court. Caught the right side defensive player completely unaware, and if he'd have hit him in the face, he would have never known it.
Tough service, McBride. Back to Moran. Tourmaline can't cover up. Jump set, combination, Ralat.
Again, that C ball seems to be working cross court. The outside blockers should be used by IPFW because they're not with it at all.
Floater served by Ralat, tough to handle. Now McBride going outside. Ball comes up with it. Braditis setting back the ball.
Brad is just having all sorts of trouble with his hands. He's trying to make sets when he's not in position, and that's going to cost you. Unless you're a setter, the referee looks at that very closely.
Tim, when you talk about position, are you talking about midline and where the player is facing that time?
Exactly.
Ball a little too tight for Tourmaline.
If you're a non-setter, you have to face your target, otherwise you're going to get caught by the referee.
Net violation side out. IPFW. It's 1-1 in the second here. Tim, we're going to shake things up a little bit. We need 3 new volleyball terms. Doesn't necessarily have to be jargon. There's a shank. You can't use that one because we already know what shank is. Three new terms each match. Can you do that?
I'll try. We've come up with...
we want our people to be volleyball literate here.
We've come up with one, and that's a pigeon. As soon as you have somebody who shanks a ball consistently and has trouble, they become the pigeon to serve. Another one we've come up with that Brad has already done twice is a whirly bird. That's when the ball spins a number of times as soon as they set the ball, and usually that's followed by the referee's whistle with a double hit.
Now the pigeon passes nicely that time. We'll give you a break right now. Let you think of another one. I'm sure you've got a million of them. Outside, Almodovar.
I doubt if they're going to stop Norman tonight.
Well, Norman has been consistent, especially from the outside. He can go down the line, but he loves to go in the middle of the court. Turned aside. Ball got a piece of that.
That time the outside hitter, Omar, went outside across the net, but he went outside of the court. And as long as you're outside of the playing court there, you can go to the other team's side.
But Almodovar cashing in. The joust of the net. It's 5-1 IPFW. Another timeout for Lewis. Channel 6 is now accepting applications for underwriting the televising of IPFW sports events and other programs. For more information about how your business or organization can utilize this opportunity, call the Channel 6 office during business hours, 481-6000. And set to go, Brad Braditis back on serve.
Trying to do is spread the offense because the setter's front row. However, that time he left too late, and it was really easy to read by the blockers. So you got to leave a lot sooner if you're going to try to fool somebody.
And that time as well, Tim, there wasn't really a good outside fake as well. No one to occupy the blockers.
Exactly.
1-6, Lewis on serve. The Flyers out of Romeo, Illinois, just outside Chicago. Chris Borden cannot come up with it. Did not go down and get the ball, just sort of lazily put his arms down there and try and pop it up. Can't do that. Almodovar on serve at 6-1. And they are working Moran. Ball turns him back inside. Dordovic.
Very nice job by Michael there. He was late, and he came over and he kept his hands high. Even though he's late, he still got a piece of the ball to help push that back down.
Tourmaline is getting playing time. He is 6'7". Loss of Peter Kuyak. has heard IPFW in the middle. They have been playing Craig Collins there. But Collins is really more comfortable on the outside, especially opposite. Ball with the kill. Termolin is in there, and he's playing some fine defense. He's got the long wingspan. Almodovar on serve at 8-1, and there's another Shanks service ace.
Got the pigeon wondering where he is in the court right now. He doesn't know.
Going to have a substitution here. You can bet it's for passing.
He's mentally, Omar is not mentally ready to be in this match. That's for certain.
Ken Mersick, number 8 in. He's going to do some passing, and he promptly gives a bad pass to McBride. Off the tip, Rolat cannot come up with it. Sean Sultan on serve at 1-9. And there is a perfect pass to ball, just 2 feet off the net. And Lloyd gets the ball there and he jump sets. He can just do about anything he wants to with it.
Exactly. He jump set that ball. He's front row, which makes it highly suspect for him to dump it. But not only that, he turned and faced the net. That draws a blocker every time, and then back sets the ball to nobody out there.
Now that time the slide behind working. Chris Borden with the kill.
Ricky, the freshman there, got caught with a setter who's jumping and the middle hitter coming behind for that slide. He needs to be more disciplined.
Bernitis back row. And Brad really, even though he is not a freshman in years, is really a freshman on the court.
That's true. This is his first year as a starter, really.
Still struggling to find the range from the back row. One-on-one block. Got to get it over. Soler does. Soler and Rolat pulled back in time. Attack is wide. Lloyd Ball will be back on serve at 9-2. That ball just took off. No rotation whatsoever on that. Caught a current and rode it all the way to the back of the building.
Yeah, that floater had a nice air pocket going with it.
Sanisha Dordovic on serve. Perditis blocked again, one-on-one. Tight set that time. Rolat and Ball showing the 3 years they've spent together. Now, by the time Ball is jump setting that, does Rolat know he's getting the ball?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Does the time when Lloyd jump sets that ball, does Rolat know that he is getting the set?
No, he never knows when he's going to get the set. His object as the quick hitter is to expect the set every time. He has to believe that he's going to get set no matter if he does or not. And as long as he does that, it doesn't matter if Lloyd sets him or not.
Arsenic with a pass. And that time the ball a little too low for Chris Borden. Borden tried an acrobatic kill attempt, swinging across his body.
Pretty tough shot to hit at that point.
And you know a little bit about number 13, Scott Davenport, coming in for IPFW, Tim.
Nice, very nice athlete. He's never really been coached before in a formal sense, but the guy has one heck of a vertical. He's been lifting weights for quite some time now, more than 5 years. Very nice athlete, left-handed, has some nice hands, could be a setter, could be right side. We'll have to see.
He is a freshman. He's out of New York.
Just hit that ball right over the block.
Almodovar bombing back row. And Lewis players do not want to sustain their block when Almodovar is coming in for the kill. That time a double tight.
Yeah, the double quick didn't work because Scott was a little late there, and he has to be up sooner, otherwise the ball starts falling down, and then he sails the ball because he's late.
Beautiful one-hand set by Ball, put down by Rolat. Ball right up at the net, bringing the ball back to IPFW side. Rolat converting.
Neither one of the Lewis middle blockers are going to be able to handle Felipe's quickness in the middle.
And that's the third time we've seen the McBride, the center, pass to nobody.
That's a freshman mistake there that Mike just did. Lewis is giving IPFW a free ball, and he went up and blocked it. Anytime you block a free ball, you're asking for trouble because they're going to get 3 more hits out of it. An experienced player will let that ball come over the net, become a free ball where you're going to score 90% of the time on a good swing instead of a half-hearted block.
Well, Almodovar is starting to get them guessing now. Soft kill attempt over the block that time instead of bombing away. This is Scott Davenport. And into the net. Lewis, IPFW now on 12-3 and serving Davenport.
Nice serve. Very nice serve.
Boy, and Almodovar doesn't seem to matter if there are 2 blockers out there.
It doesn't matter for Norman in this kind of a match. The block is not a well-formed block. He's going to take advantage of that. The thing I'm watching at this point is Mike and how he's working out in battle here. Another freshman mistake. He comes down after the block and doesn't turn around and get off the net. He thought that as soon as the ball went by him, the play was going to end. So unfortunately, he didn't turn around and get back up in time to become an offensive threat in transition. Arnie Ball will be showing him that on videotape.
Just to clarify that point, Tim, once the block comes over, that blocker is supposed to turn around, wheel on their heel, and look for the ball to see where it's going.
Wheel and deal.
Okay, you too can join in the excitement of IPFW athletics by participating in the Royal Dons Club. The Royal Dons Club is the official booster club for IPFW athletic teams. Members enjoy priority seating at all IPFW sports events, food and refreshments in the hospitality room, admission to IPFW sports media luncheons, and association with other Mastodon sporters, just to name the few benefits. More information about the Royal Dons Club, you can call Lisa Moreland there, 481-6027. And Lewis on serve, Kim Marsick at 313. Ralot with a soft dink, had no one up. And now IPFW with 2 mistakes in a row. McBride setting, and he had a double hit. That's him. We talked about this Lewis team in the opener that you can't really tell. They have 4 Canadians. Good intensity these players play with, but they are just not up to IPFW's level yet.
Definitely not. They've got a long way to come. You've got to build a culture, a team culture. You got to build consistency, a trust. That's just not there between their players yet. I mean, it can't be when you're just starting out. It takes sometimes years to build those kinds of things.
Overpass put down by Chris Borden, number 11. Boy, they're signaling where he wants the offense to go. And first time we're going to see the setter, Steve Simonson, in. He's going to be a back row specialist coming in to serve. Mike Termelin having his seat. And Steve paying off dividends, 14-4, ready to close out game 2. And just catches the net.
Steve taking out the spinner there, going for a jumper, and he didn't quite connect.
McBride in the dump by ball. Piece of cake when he's in the front row. You have a tendency to forget about that. He can attack from that front row. And now Ball's going to jump serve it out. No. Ran McBride up. Chris Borden long. That's game 2, 15-7. Game 2 is 15-4. IPFW out in front 2-0.
Well, it's like we say, it's quite obvious it's a first-year program here at Lewis. The thing that you can say about them is that they are better than most first-year programs. I will say that the potential there for Lewis to build a program is certainly there. They're going to get a lot better as the years go. And they just need to build a team culture, that's all.
Well, IPFW has a little time off before the next game. They have Quincy coming in on the 12th, and I believe Wisconsin Milwaukee, if I'm not mistaken. Quincy's in on the 11th, and Milwaukee, I believe, is in on the 12th. We'll check on that during the break here. We're going to take a timeout right now and be back after these short messages.
Children are the largest group of Americans living below the poverty line. They have to reach higher for what others take for granted. Health care, balanced meals, encouragement to learn. But with help early on, children in your community can gain the skills to get out from below the poverty line. The first step, call to learn more. Change the world of a child, and you change the world.
Is a need in your own hometown. Please join your local chapter.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. I'm Paul Farbaugh, joined by IPFW women's volleyball coach Tim Heffron. And Tim, the juggling continues for IPFW. Mike Termolin in, number 14 again for IPFW.
Got a picture of April Bear there and Amy Polvato.
You might know them.
Both on the women's team there. Couple of middle hitters sharing a laugh.
Quite a run at the end of the year this year, didn't you there, Tim?
Yeah, it was kind of fun to have 21 out of 23 go our way and win the last 12. Get my head shaved. I don't mind that.
The hair is back, folks. I can tell you it's more than Loy Ball has on his head right now. McBride trying to flip it over. And the middle block not up. Craig Collins is back in as well. Off the block, Dermolin dumps it over. 2 to get it over. McBride back set. Ball up with it. Credit the kill, Anthony Fenton. Doug McBride on serve at 1-0 in game 3.
Oh, there it is. That's the combination we were looking for. It's a very nice job. And that's what you get when your middle hitter is on time. It looks like he's going to get the ball, and the blockers have to go. And then that X2 comes around with one on nobody.
Miss hit that time. Borden trying to buy it off the IPFW blockers. No deal. Verlat that time in the air before the set was made. Soler coming through from behind.
Oh, they're in. It's not over. Just out.
Blocked that time. Almodovar. terrible pass. McBride has to go fetch. Sultan now.
And IPFW's offense is way too fast for the defense of Lewis. They didn't even have a chance to get in position to block that ball.
Almodovar toying that time. Cross court, swinging his arm through the kill. Across his body.
Well, I tell you, Paul, I would not want to be the Lewis setter tonight. He shouldn't have volleyball shoes on. He should have track shoes on. He's running everything down.
Lewis has brought in another passer to help handle the IPFW service. It does not help. Almodovar hitting error. Ideally, you want your setter to get the ball about 2 feet off the net, maybe 10 feet inside the right sideline. Is that correct, Tim?
For which type of set?
Just is that where you want your set to be for the quick offense?
For the quick offense, actually, you'd like to set the ball like about 3 to 4 feet off the net, and then there's different areas in relation to the setter. Some teams go to a specific spot on the court. Other teams will make the hit in total relation to the setter and follow the setter wherever they go.
Back on serve, Chris Borden at 2-3. Overpass by Soler. Two to get it over. This is Fenton, still alive, but a lift call.
Yeah, that's kind of a rookie play there. Reaching back when you're on the ground, when there's people behind you, that's not a great play. If you're going to play the ball behind you, you got to come down, turn around, and play the ball.
Jamolan, only a freshman.
Nice job, and as if you could see a replay on that, obviously Lewis had the credit card defense there as they were charging everything.
Is that number 3?
That's number 3.
Credit card defense. Okay, I'll buy that one.
They were just flying into that middle, and the ball went right over their head.
Unfortunately for them, their credit's no good here.
The kill by Sean Sultan.
Lewis 5-1 coming in. They have already defeated 2 teams in the conference, but both those teams, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, Quincy, new teams to the conference. Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and was it a year or 2 years ago, Tim, and then Quincy this year.
Yeah, it's nice to see that. It's going to take a while for those young teams to come up to par here. It took IPFW quite a few years to do the same. They got pounded by Ball State for forever, it seemed, in their beginning. I forget how many matches they lost in a row.
I think it was 28 or 26 or 28, something like that.
I want to say 28, and I was pretty proud to be part of the team that knocked that string off. As a player, it was not a lot of fun to get beat that many times, however.
Boy, and coiling that time, back row, Collins. And if he hit like that from the back row all the time, you would see Craig out there 100% of the time.
That's correct. That's what IPFW is looking for him every time.
Overpass. A lot trying to play it against McBride. Soler up with the block. One more time, still alive. 3 to get it over.
The cut by Sean Sultan.
Craig wasn't sure if Loy was going to take that ball or if he was going to take that ball, and by the time he made his mind up, it was too late, and he was about 2 feet below the net when he tipped that ball. That's a recipe for disaster.
I don't think you're going to get a topspin kill out of a swing like that.
No.
Almodovar coming up on the top serve. Tough serve. IPFW just sleeping a little bit right now in game 3. They won the first 2 games. 15-7, 15-4. Now it's 4 apiece in game 3. Sean Sultan on serve. Outside, one-on-one. Soler.
It's a nice job by Ricky. He's looking a lot better this week in practice. Really put some intense practices in, and it's showing. There it is again, though. And Craig should know better than that, really. Papa's got to tell Craig, who happened to be blocking left at that point, that the hitter is coming around, and he's got to leave the setter and go to that hitter on that slide.
Tim, how much of the transition from opposite to middle?
Huge transition.
Especially the defensive side.
It's a very different game playing in the middle as opposed to the right or left side. I mean, if you're on the right side, how much area do you have to go? You really only have one direction to worry about. That's either to your left or your to right. If you're in the middle, you got both directions to worry about.
That time Merlot almost into the net the first time, is into the net the second time. Lewis, McBride on serve at 4-6.
Pape is just having a field day out there because of his quickness, and if Michael can learn that, or if Craig can learn that, you're going to see a very potent offense by IPFW. You have to learn how to drive hard, get up there, drag some blockers with it.
Well, at this point in the season, Rolat might be the most consistent volleyball. He had 32 kills against Penn State. I'm not sure. We'd have to check and see if that's a record high. What a beautiful play that time. Rolat in. Combination. Collins coming from behind.
Once again, those combinations will work so long as your middle is early. I'm not so sure that combination is going to work with Mike in the middle.
And once again, another free ball dumped over by Termolin. And paying the price, Ken Mercer. Well, what makes that play so effective, Tim, is that middle blocker. There is no way he can get up again once he has committed himself to the first middle hitter.
Exactly. That's the perfect timing. As they come down, the ball is being hit, so that when they come down and hit the floor, the ball's being hit. There's nothing you can do.
That time off the block. Ball could not save. And Lewis sticking around. Game 3. On serve, Borden at 5-6.
Not a pretty serve. He tossed that ball off to the left side of his body, and his right hand kind of come across his body, and that's why that ball sailed way out of bounds.
High and outside. Collins on serve. Mercick has come in, number 8, and done a nice job on the passing, and there's another hitting error by the freshman.
Yeah, he's just not strong enough to make that play.
Oh, this is a chance for him to get some playing time.
Definitely. Good to get experience.
And the gritty play by Lloyd Ball comes right back to him.
See, now that's what experienced setters do, is they will go back to the hitter who just made a mistake. They'll try to get them back into the flow of the game. And that's what Lloyd does a lot of. They do that at the national level, the Olympic level. That's what they teach their setters to do. Go back to that person, get them back in the game right away.
That time seemed to catch a chrome dome off Almodovar. Collins could not retrieve. And now Craig's starting to heat it up.
They're heating it up a little bit. They're not transitioning real well, and that's why we're at 6-5 at this point. Whoops.
And a lift on Mercick. He's done a good job while he's been in there. But a receiving error point. IPFW now at 7-5. And another tough service. It's really sort of a line drive by Termolin. Free ball for IPFW. Collins again, back row, and he's starting to heat it up.
Don is getting excited about it. He almost coming out onto the court on that. As you can see there on the replay, nobody home for Lewis. The Flyers will take that one.
Good extension that time by Collins.
Nice serve by the freshman. Unfortunately, he's out of position on defense. He's standing in the middle of the court, had a little bit of that credit card in him. Running where he shouldn't have been. Got to stay on that perimeter.
Sean Sultan on serve now at 5'8". Slide behind, stuffed down by Rolat. Aiming for the corner and missing.
Going for a sharp serve there, going for a bit of an ace, and couldn't pull it off, slid off his hand a little bit.
Soler now to ball. Quick hitter. Collins over the middle.
Ooh, that was ugly.
Very ugly. Anthony Fenton is not a setter.
No, and it was obvious he couldn't even come up with a whirlybird out of that baby.
I don't know what you call that one. Enter Mullen failing to cover up.
It was good that time because Mike did stay in position. And he just didn't read what the hitter was doing, but he was in position.
The bounce. Roulette.
Somebody's coming into the game for the Dons here. It looks like Eddie Eduardo. Going to put a little spark in the Dons.
Rivera is the last name, and he's a favorite of yours, Tim.
I think he is. He brings a lot of intensity to this team. He loves to hit, loves to block, loves to play defense. He likes playing the game. He wants to be out there.
Instant intensity. Thought that was going to be a free ball. Sultan does a good job with the top spin kill.
Nice dig by Eddie. Unfortunately, they couldn't come up with the hit there. It was a nice play.
Well, now basically you have 3 new players in the game. For IPFW, if you go by last year's account, you had Ball, Almodovar, and Collins as starters. You've got 3 new players in there. So some combinations being tried tonight.
Here comes a big sub, and we might see a switch here to a 5-1 with Scott Lauer setting.
And Lloyd going to
the hit. Yep, Scott's going to set. Arnie made the motion that Scott's setting, so it's a 5-1. It's still the same offense. You just flip-flopped the setter and the opposite hitter.
That time, Tremolin up and Almodovar rather.
Lloyd giving it the signal that his arm's ready and warm. He wants to give it a swing.
And Lloyd actually is probably, if not the best attacker on the team, one of the best. There you see why. Applied the facial massage.
Yes, definite facial there. A little mud pack to the face. Here it comes on the screen. Check it out. That's pretty quick. I wouldn't want to be him.
Well, I go back to the science terms. Almodovar with the bailout.
Yeah, that's 4 terms for me tonight. I'm over my limit. I realize that.
Well, you can throw them out now, but you want to make sure you have 3 in the next game we do here, too.
Okay. That doesn't count towards next game's tally?
No.
Okay.
No. We're going to put the pressure on you. I mean, if you're going to use them early, that's your tough one. I mean, you got to know that you got to save them. You got to play it like that up. You can't throw that mud pack in there. I tried to bail you out.
All right, we'll save that mud pack. Eddie's happy about his performance as he comes off the floor for the Dons.
Came in, played his rotation through the back row. Still 8-5 though. IPFW been stuck on that score, trying to serve the seam that time.
Yep, we've got a touch off of Lloyd. Nice swing by the Lewis hitter. I've not seen that yet tonight. Even though the set was tight and you've got Loy out there blocking, he went up strong and hit that ball high. That's what he's got to learn.
Tim, if you could discuss a little bit about how Scott Lauer is setting the ball as compared to Lloyd. No, Almodovar with the lift.
And yeah, Almodovar trying to get a little fancy there. That could have been a lift. Actually, that was more of a lift than Norman's. I'd say Scott has, he's got good hands. He's got a lot of training. He's been here a while. He knows the system. He can step right in. Before Lloyd Ball, you would probably kill to have a setter like Scott. And unfortunately for him, Loy, being one of the best setters in the nation, doesn't allow Scott to play a lot, but certainly could play the game and is a great backup.
That time, a little mix-up between Lauer and Relat. Lauer is a junior, so he will be back after this year. IPFW has been stuck on 8 points for a while now. Soler on serve. And a shank from Moran. A free ball for IPFW. Soler now up to Almodovar. And Lauer, 2-on-1 block. Turned aside by Fenton.
We've got a bit of a 6-2 happening there for a second, but no, we're back to the 5-1.
Now the 6-2 offense, explain that to us, Tim.
6-2, you have 2 setters and 6 hitters. What that means is both of the setters turn into hitters when they're in the front row. That just allows you more options, gives you 3 options every time you're playing the game instead of having only 2 options when the setter's in the front row.
Chris Borden on serve. Game 3, Lewis University, the Flyers. Division II school.
Just hit that one a little wide there. It's going for the hands. Didn't happen.
8 apiece as Borden serves it up. Soler with a good pass to Lauer. Back row attack. Rulot. Coming back to him. Pretty back set by Lauer. Calling for it. Termolin saves. Got to get it over. Almodovar blocked out of bounds.
That's a very nice play by the freshman there, Ricky. Diving to save his partner there, Michael. Just making a great save. So we'll see here on the replay here. Maybe not.
We're going to stick with live action here. Don't want to miss Scott Lauer's serve. At 8, another free ball for IPFW. Lauer going down to get it. Ball with the dink.
A net on Omar. Not happy about that.
Number 15 into the net for Lewis. Point Fort Wayne. (9-8) your score, not 9-7. 9-8 is the score.
Scotty normally makes that dig. I'm kind of surprised that he's not playing up to his capabilities right now. He should be serving tougher and digging that ball.
And Lewis a chance to tie the game. Almodovar dug out of there by Fenton. Set back for Fenton. Poor set. Chris Borden that time trying to bump a set up. And
yeah, you don't want to do that when Loy's there. That's not a good selection.
The thing is, Fenton's in the back row, and that set was right on the line. Had nothing he could do with it. But the bailout with a service error. And Omar Moran back on serve at 8-9. Pretty back set by Lauer.
All of the motion of the offense is coming towards us here. The swing hitter, the middle hitter, the right side hitter, and the pass, and then all of a sudden, boom, you back set it because the blockers are cheating over. It's a great play by the Dons.
2-on-1 block, not enough penetration in between the hands. Sean Salton.
Nice set.
Beautiful set that time, Lauer.
Pretty set. Again, that's not an easy set he just made there. Here's the replay. He's back on about the 10-foot line there, making a very nice set back to the middle. That's extremely difficult to do. It takes a lot of training.
Well, ball again going for that right corner, and again missing. Service error, IPFW. 1-on-1 block. Rulot now setting ball on the outside, broad jumping. McBride back set for Fenton.
Oh, he sailed that one. Just couldn't come over the top of it and let her fly.
And it flew. Time that back set just a little long for Fenton. Moran gets it up. McBride now 1-on-1 Rulot up. And you can see the difference the way Rulot plays middle defense as compared to Collins.
Definitely.
He is up with every loose ball at the net there.
Yeah,
always up.
He's just got so much more experience there and knows. He can read the setter a lot better. He knows when the middle's getting the ball. It's a lot easier for him.
That time off the hands, 6-8 against 6-0, 1-on-1. It's what you expect, Lloyd Ball. Going right off the fingertips of Omar Moran. Fenton can't be turned inside. And we've been siding out here. It's still 8-9, Lewis University on serve.
Yeah, it's still an even game here. Lewis hanging in there, but I would suspect at any moment you might see the Dons pull out with a roll here, get 3 or 4 points right in a row.
Now, this is a good rotation for them. And 3 hitters up on the attack in the front row, and ball comes through with a kill.
It's a nice swing. It's hard to defend that. And Dave, wisely sensing this thing could quickly get out of hand, calls a timeout.
Dave Duzier, a timeout for Lewis University. He's trailing right now 2-9 and trailing by 2 points in game 3, 8-10. Well, it would be interesting, Tim, just to go over that 6-2 again. You have 2 setters in a 6-2 offense and 6 hitters. By that you mean there are always 3 hitters in the front row.
That's right. When one of the setters is always in the front row and one of the setters is always in the back row. When the setter's in the back row, he sets the ball, and when the setter is in the front row, he becomes a hitter. So that's how you always have everybody hitting. Everybody gets to hit, but only 2 people are actually setting. So there's not actually 8 people on the court. 2 of the hitters are also 2 setters.
I imagine it's also confusing too when Lloyd Ball gets up there, and he might not be in the front row, but he sets. The other team might not remember he's not a front row hitter and might respect him for the quick attack, the dink, or the pineapple on the second hit and go up with him.
That's right.
So a lot of options in that 6-2.
Exactly. A little talking in the net there. Scott, real lazy getting up to the net. It'll cost the Dons and a point. Scott was not ready when they served that ball. Just did not get out of Norman's way. Kind of surprised about that. There's some talking going between in the net there with Sean Sultan going after Lloyd Ball. I don't imagine that's a smart thing to do. Ball's going to Loy right now if you're a smart setter.
It is 10-10, 2 straight points after that timeout. For Lewis University, Anthony Fenton still on serve. And a costly service error. Sultan can't get it down against 2 blockers, tries the dink. And Termolin.
Mike, and that's what we're talking about is Mike doesn't believe he's going to get the ball. Didn't drive like he's going to get the ball, and that's why Pepa gets those kinds of kills, because he thinks he's going to get it every time, no matter where that pass is.
Boy, that play was doomed from the start. Great serve. Almodovar could not get up and underneath the ball. Lauer had a tough pass to work with. Couldn't get it outside enough for Soler. Backs it, ball bombing.
It's not a great set from Scotty there. He needs to get that ball out there for Loy. Loy being as big as he is.
And it's 12-10. Lewis coming back in this one. They were down 8-5 at one point. And
nice
there's
fake.
the difference. The ball goes over.
Scotty Lauer goes up like he's going to set it, pulls his hand back, and lo and behold, the ball will drop right there.
That was by design, right?
Yeah, that play may not be in the playbook there.
McBride backs it. Sultan. And that is a mud pack.
Yeah, that's another
pack.
one. That's a 6-pack there. That's a good shot. Again, Ricky not respecting their slide, going with that setter. He's got to take off as soon as he sees him coming around.
Lauer backs it. Ball against 2 hitters. Still alive. 2 to get it over. McBride dumps it over. Lauer sending again. Quick hitter. Rolat. And Rolat is just devastating in the middle on the quick hitter. Doesn't miss very much at all. And a .500 hitting percentage against Penn State.
Yeah, he's just done a fantastic job tonight. I would seriously consider him as the player of the game here.
Rolat coming through again over the middle. Lauer going to him. And the crowd's starting to get up. IPFW
Yeah,
on serve at 11-12.
They wanted to see Sean get one back. He's been talking through the net, giving IPFW some guff. The crowd gets in it.
That time Fenton moving into the passing seam. Moran did not take it. Ball placing that one perfectly. Look for him to try and work that seam again. The slide behind again. Dug out by Tremolin. Two-man block. Still alive. Rallat. Another kill.
He's just crushing the ball everywhere. So, yep, we got that timeout, 13-12. IPFW over Lewis. At this point, it's rather obvious that Pepa is on fire. And if you're the setter, when you got somebody on fire, you just keep going to him and going to him and going to him. As we take a look at Don getting the crowd into this a little bit. He's challenging the crowd. Up there he goes. Goes over with the old cartwheel. Fans appreciate that.
Hey, can someone get Greg's attention?
So we'll see if IPFW can't close this one out here tonight. They've got a little work to do with them there.
Well, still on serve, Loy Ball.
Substitution here, Espinoza in the game for Lewis.
Yes. One-on-one, great set that time. High set, but Moran still one-on-one. McBride disguised that set well. Ball bombing back row.
It's a nice job.
Back Moran, still 3 to get it over. Nice tip that time. Lauer took a look, saw Borden sucked up in the middle.
Exactly, and that's there's a replay here of that play. Oh, no, we're back to live action as that was just a smart play. You can tell that Scott is not a freshman. I mean, that takes some brains to do that play right there.
Well, back in the contest, Sean Sultan. Lauer took a peek where the defense was that time while the ball was in the air. Putting it down, Anthony Fenton. And the Lewis bench telling IPFW fans to sit back down. Omar Moran back on serve at 12-14. 4 straight for IPFW. Ball bombing back row.
Lewis didn't have a prayer there. Just didn't have a prayer, and here the fans coming in. They're not satisfied yet.
Pepe on serve. That's a hard floater. Right over the block. Fenton has been impressive. Anthony Fenton, number 9 for Lewis. He's going to be a good one. Chris Borden on serve at 12-14. Off the blockers. Almodovar with a kill, and the fans up one more time. Scott Lauer blows this one out. McBride up. And Fenton long on the kill. That wraps it. 15-7, 15-4, 15-12. IPFW wins their first MIVA league match of the year. And Lewis falls to 2-1 in the conference. Your impressions, Tim, when you have Scott Lauer in the game as Loy Ball hitting?
Well, it certainly raises, it gives IPFW another attacker at a very high level. The whole offense, however, comes down a tad in quickness. It's a trade-off. You get another arm, but you lose a little quickness in your offense. it'll be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the year and to see which option is best. But it certainly is an option for IPFW when they're struggling. They need to change it up.
Well, you might see a little more of that 6-2 offense because coming in on the 11th, Wisconsin-Milwaukee. Now they're really a little notch above Lewis, and then Quincy comes in and Lewis beat Quincy. So you're going to see some experimenting by Arnie Ball this next weekend, Friday and Saturday.
I think so.
All right, we're going to take a timeout here, see if we can get Pepe Relat on the floor afterwards. There's your final score, 15-7. 15-4 was the second game, not 15-5, 15-4, and 15-12. IPFW in 3. We'll be back after this timeout.
For over 2 millennia, Western society has generated a rich visual tradition of painting, sculpture, and architecture. What do these images mean? How can we understand them? Art of the Western world will take you on an exciting journey that will suggest answers to these and other questions. Beginning in ancient Greece and ending on the brink of the future, it will examine many of mankind's most enduring artistic achievements.
Vince, that new dummy cam is great.
Yeah, it'll sure give people a whole new outlook on what it's like when you don't wear a safety belt.
I think they'll get the picture.
You could learn a lot from a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Mental illness. We fear it. We laugh at it. We scorn it. We think it's shameful. But these are misunderstandings. Misunderstandings that will fade away if we see mental illness for what it really is. A medical disease. A disease that can be treated if you just know where to turn. For an informative booklet, call the American Mental Health Fund.
Excuse me, ma'am, can you help us? I'm sorry, Sir, please help our brother. Ma'am, we need some blood for our brother. Please.
I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Sir? Please, ma'am.
Oh, not now, baby.
Our brother really needs blood. Can you help us?
Imagine if you had to ask for blood to save the life of someone you love. Next time the American Red Cross asks, give blood, please.
A lot of my friends have already retired. But I wasn't ready for that. So I'm still teaching. This time in Belize, Central America. I decided to join the Peace Corps. I love my kids. And the way I figure it, I have the rest of my life to play cards.
Peace Corps, the toughest job you'll ever love.
My hero? Isaiah Thomas, Kevin Costner, Mr. Wong.
These are teachers, but to the kids they've reached, they're heroes.
My hero? Mrs. Wooten. If I don't get through to that child, who knows, maybe no one else will.
Teachers have the power to wake up young minds, to be heroes, to make a difference. Reach for that power. Teach. Find out how by calling 1-800-45-TEACH. Be a teacher. Be a hero.
Welcome back to the Hilliard Gate Sports Center. Wrapping it up there, you see the final score again. IPFW victorious, moved to 4-2 on the season, 1-0 in the MIVA conference. Lewis falls to 5-2 and 2-1 in the conference. Well, we at IPFW are pleased to be able to bring you cablecasts of NCAA athletic competition. We hope you've enjoyed the show and the excitement of intercollegiate sports from IPFW. To provide such programs, we need your support. With the help of many volunteers, we are able to produce these programs at a relatively low cost. Your contribution will help defray the production costs not covered by the Channel 6 budget. The College Cable Access Center invites you to invest in quality college programming by sending your contribution to. There on your screen, Channel 6 at IPFW, 2101 Coliseum Boulevard East, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 46805. please make your check out to the Indiana Purdue Foundation at Fort Wayne and designated for college cable access athletics. Let's take her down the floor. Tim Heffron standing by with Dandy Don, player of the game, Pepe Relat. Take it away, Tim.
Thank you, Paul. And we're here with Felipe Relat, our Don for the night, and he's also known as Pepa Who. But tonight he just seemed to be in the flow of things here, Pepa. How do you get into a flow and just be on a roll and hitting everything and everything's gold? What's going through your mind at that point?
Man, tonight I felt great. I mean, during the day I lifted. It's the first time I do that, and I mean, I'm feeling very good, very healthy. And it just kept going. I felt like the zone, like people say. It was great. I mean, I had fun, all this stuff, and it was pretty cool.
Great. And what do you think, what are your impressions of the team and its development to this point in the season?
We are young and inexperienced, but I mean, after the Penn State trip and after playing UCLA, I think we're gonna develop pretty good, and we have a lot of improvement to do.
Great. And one final question here for you. Tonight we saw a bit of a difference in the offense. Obviously we had Loy hitting instead of setting and put Scott Lauer in his place. And what do you think of your adjustment to Scott's setting style and how that went for the team? What are your impressions?
Well, Scott setting for me, he's fine. I mean, he did a great job. And Loy, I mean, he's a very, very good hitter whenever he hits. And we just clicked in, and it was pretty cool. I mean, I had fun in the match. Scott played good. Scott Davenport, when he came in, Mike Isomedo, and he just did a great job.
Great. Glad you're the Don of the night here. Just had a fantastic match. It was just great to see you come alive like that. The team needs a spark like that when they're not necessarily being pushed by the other team. And Paul, we're going to send it back to you now as we've completed our interview here with Felipe Relat, middle hitter for IPFW.
Thank you very much, Tim. Pepe Relat. In a game of many different combinations, the one constant in the middle, the hard hitting, the great success of Pepe Relat. He has been one constant factor in the success of IPFW this season. Well, we'd like to take this time to thank the IPFW Channel 6 volunteer crew and the Learning Resource Center at IPFW for their contributions to the live production of our volleyball games this evening. Fellas, you're going to have to scratch that out. I'm going to miss that every time. The telecast of this IPFW sports event is copyrighted and the sole property of the College Cable Access Center and IPFW. Unauthorized duplication, exhibition, retransmission, rebroadcast, or any other use of this event without express written consent is strictly prohibited. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow evening, Channel 6, 6 and 8. The women going first against Ashland and the men at 8 o'clock. For Tim Heffron, this is Paul Farbaugh. Have a good evening.